Okay, let's just dive right in. It feels like everyone these days is craving a normal life, doesn't it? Something simple, something predictable. But what if that very idea of a normal life has a hidden cost? Well, that's what we're going to unpack here. The real price of stability and what it actually means for your freedom. And honestly, who could blame us? The world feels pretty chaotic right now, so the appeal of something stable, it's huge. It's just a natural human instinct to want to find some shelter from the storm. But the real question is that shelter as safe as it looks? Because that feeling of security, it always comes with a price tag. It's a cost that you don't really see at first, but it can have a massive impact on your money, sure, but also on your personal freedom. So let's start peeling back the layers, beginning with the price of stability itself. So what's the very first item on this hidden price tag? It's stability. It's a trade-off that, let's be honest, most of us make early in our careers without really thinking through the long-term consequences. It really boils down to this trade-off between stability and volatility. On one hand, a stable career path gives you predictability, and that's super comforting. But it often comes with a much lower ceiling for growth. You're basically trading the chance for explosive, exponential gains for the comfort of slow, steady, linear progress. And this is where the trap starts to close in. When your income is predictable, your expenses tend to become just as predictable. The mortgage, the car loan, all those monthly subscriptions, they all lock you into this really rigid financial box. And all of a sudden, taking a big risk, like switching careers or starting a company, it just feels wildly irresponsible, even if it could lead to something amazing. This quote just nails the psychological shift that happens. You slowly stop being a builder and you turn into a defender. All your energy gets redirected from creating new things to just protecting what you've already got. And that is when the hidden cost of stability really starts to compound. So this move from playing offense to playing defense, it has a huge impact on something called optionality. Now, this is a concept that's absolutely key to understanding the real price of that so-called normal life. Let's take a closer look. So, what the heck is optionality? Think of it as your freedom to pivot without blowing up your entire life. It's the power to say yes to a wild new opportunity. Maybe it's a job offer across the country, or maybe it's finally launching that business you can't stop thinking about. It's the ultimate form of financial freedom, really. But here's the thing. You don't lose your optionality overnight. It's a really slow, sneaky process. It starts when you anchor your whole life to that stable paycheck. Then you start stacking up those fixed costs. A lease here, a loan there. Each decision makes perfect sense on its own, but together they're like little threads tying you down, quietly chipping away at your freedom, until one day you look around and realize you're stuck. And this is the moment everything flips. You stop playing to win, and you start playing not to lose. The fear of losing the comfortable life you've built becomes way stronger than the excitement for what you could gain. And just like that, your options start to disappear, one by one, until you're left with a life that's safe, sure, but maybe a little bit small. This vanishing optionality leads us right into the next hidden cost, and this one is even more subtle. It's what you might call the lifestyle lock-in. It's a trap that is so easy to fall into and incredibly hard to get out of. We're always told that more money means more freedom. But what if that's not quite right? What if, in some ways, a bigger income can actually make you more trapped? It really comes down to the size of the machine, their lifestyle, that you've built around that income. The bigger and more complicated that machine gets, the harder it is to ever turn it off. And there's this quiet, almost automatic thing that happens. As your income starts to climb, your lifestyle costs tend to climb right up along with it. You get a nicer car, a bigger apartment, you go on fancier vacations. And before you know it, you're stuck on this treadmill of earning and spending, and you don't actually feel any more free than you did before. So every little lifestyle upgrade, every new monthly payment,
It's like adding another brick to this invisible wall that's being built around your future. The more comfortable and convenient your life becomes, the more expensive and difficult it is to tear that wall down and take a chance on something new and uncertain.
And those invisible walls, they don't just limit your choices right now. They have a huge effect on your future. They lead to what might just be the biggest hidden cost of all, the incredibly high price of delaying your financial independence. Okay, so there's a huge difference between income and ownership. Income is what you get for trading your time for money. It depends on your active participation. Ownership, on the other hand, is about acquiring assets that work for you, even when you're not. And here's the critical part. Income is linear, but ownership can be compounding. The sooner you shift your focus from just earning to actually owning, the faster you get to real freedom. But the normal path tells us to do it all backwards, right? Focus on getting that stable career first, and then, maybe someday down the road you can think about investing. But this strategy it's fundamentally flawed. It robs you of your single most valuable asset, time. By putting ownership on the back burner, you miss out on years of compounding, which makes building real wealth so much harder. Okay, so when you add all these hidden costs together, the price of stability, the loss of optionality, the lifestyle lock-in, they all funnel down into one final and maybe most important consequence. It's a fundamental shift in who you are. Do you become a builder or a maintainer? Just think about that for a second. When you spend year after year trying to avoid risk and maximize comfort, you actually lose your tolerance for the messy, uncertain, and frankly, difficult process of growth. You become a creature of habit and you start resisting change. And when you're no longer willing to take risks, you're no longer able to grow. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? You become a master of preservation, an expert at maintenance, but you completely forget how to build something from scratch. You're so focused on not losing what you have that you lose the courage and maybe even the skill to create something new. And that might be the ultimate hidden cost of a normal life. And here is the final irony. That stability you worked so hard to create, the very thing you thought would protect you from the world's chaos, has now made you incredibly fragile. Your perfectly manicured life becomes like a house of cards, needing your constant attention and energy just to keep it from falling over. So, what's the big takeaway here? Look, it's not that having a normal life is a bad thing. It's just that it comes with a cost, a hidden one. And now that you know what that cost is, you have a choice. Are you willing to accept the invisible walls that a normal life quietly builds around your future? Or will you dare to build something a little different? The choice, as always, is yours.